I'd be waiting for a retest first, but after that, I mean,
Is Derek on or what?
Yeah,
Yep.
what's up,
yeah, he's here. What's up, Kyle?
Well, and then where it's going.
Sniper.
Yeah, all the targets are on session volume. Just at a glance, I'm seeing 26,191 next. Or a savage consolidation to London.
Yeah.
Didn't have that problem yesterday. Last night.
No, we rode that bitch all the way, dude.
Yeah, we got out just in at the perfect spot. That was wicked.
Yeah, I was waiting on some hydraulic parts around lunchtime. Well, my wife actually works at Napa, so I call her for everything I need or whatever, and then she delivers it down.
Hey guys, will you guys be putting this in the chat?
It is in the chat.
I got my daughter with me right now, so I can't even like listen to you guys.
Oh, wow. How dare her. Just
So
kidding.
I'll be looking at the recording once you guys put it up.
Yeah. I'll have the recording sometimes up tonight. So
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
yeah, no worries. Absolutely.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
We good? Think everybody on?
Yeah, man, I say roll with it.
So, like, what me and Kyle and Ty, we were just like bullshitting the other night or whatever. And I actually started getting into like market profile. So, market profile is a little bit different, but it's almost identical to session volume and trading visible range or anything like that. Almost identical, not quite the same, but close. So, like, when we have like 3 consecutive days, I had this is the visible range over here on the right side. So you can pop it up, see the visible range of whatever candles are in your screen. So it'll do the visible range of all of these if you'd like. I'll show you exactly where the most, 70% of your volume is traded in all of these candles. How market profile works is it's kind of weird because like I can take, it's on a different platform. It's not on TradingView, but I can take, say we have these 3 or 4 consecutive days here where price has been just bouncing back and forth to this. So like they say like 80% of the market is just consolidation, that you're wanting a trend day or whatnot. But when price bounces back and forth like this, I can actually take all 4 of these days and combine them into one day, and I can see exactly where the money lies in one profile instead of 4 separate sessions. Well, me and Kyle, we got to talking about it, and I was like, well, shit, dude. I said, I think we can do that with the visible range too. I think I can almost do the same thing with it. So I kicked on my visible range and I took my candles over here which there's candles here now, but when we were doing it, there wasn't. Well, the visible range of those 4 days was right here. And look, on my 30-minute chart, it pulled back and then dropped, pulled back and then dropped all the way. So, like, I could have seen on, if I had my market profile up, I could have seen the same thing, but I thought it was really cool on the visible range to do that. And then if you drop down, like I was just scalping the other day I was scalping the 1 minute, but I dropped down to, I was looking at the 5 and the 1, and it's a little bit harder to do it on your phone. But like in that volume profile book, like this is an open drive is what they call it, when the market opens and just takes off downward. So usually after you have an open drive, more than likely you usually trade within somewhat of these areas. So you just bounce this back and forth until you get another good trend day and take off. So I was looking just to bounce this back and forth. But on the 1 minute, which Kyle's been doing the 1 minute, I'll show you, or Kyle, you show your screen and you show the 1 minute. You're a lot better at the 1 minute than I am.
They're here, babe.
Okay.
So he just wants to go run over his coon.
I'm not gonna be able to see my shit.
Lab.
Just kidding. Ready? You can see or what?
Can't see your screen now.
No, not yet. Okay.
You're good now.
Okay, sweet. So what was that lady's name that was asking about where it's going next?
Kim.
Kim? Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just using visual session volume right now. A lot of the time we're using, like this is the comparison. This is what we're usually looking at. So session volume for each session. So one calendar day or whatever, right? So instead of looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different days, you can still look at those or not, and you're looking at the same exact thing, but your visual session, right? So when you ask where it's going next, usually what me and Derek were doing before is we would look across. So like, you know, end of structure is right here. So that would be a support or a ceiling or whatever, right, for our next resistance. So that would be kind of our next target, which it's getting pretty close to. And then to find out what's next, because there's not much going on here, we'd scroll back and take a look at our previous sessions and look at the POC. As you can see on my right screen, the little dotted lines or whatever. So the next POC is also right close to where that end of structure is. So yeah, we were looking at all this. So you're really back and forth, and there's so many different things that you got to look at. But if you clear all that out and do visual session, now it's doing the exact same thing without all the movement, right? So see how that line that I drew just a minute ago is still respecting that same high volume node right here?
Yeah.
Right? So next, if it breaks that and breaks these lower volume nodes, then it's going to be wanting to test the next volume, right? The next area, which is also an area of consolidation over here.
Here wanting to buy my boat, and he wasn't supposed to be here till a little bit later, so I got to go.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Just come back on when you're ready. So yeah, it was just wild because we traded this big drop here. Sorry, it's not my normal setup. Just 1 second. Smeetai and Derek got on yesterday, and I think we got in here right on this break because it consolidated for like 4 hours right here.
Yeah, we got in on the break.
So we got in on this break and rode it all the way down. I think I got out when it came back to about there. But sorry, I'm looking at a trade while we do this. So yeah, but it was just respecting those zones of session volume, right? So if you scroll way back, you want a bigger time frame, be a little bit easier. So obviously I have my support and resistance and trend lines and all that other craziness, right?
Mhm.
But if you're scrolled right back like this, it's looking at, what is this? Right now we're looking at 39 days, so 39 sessions, right? So when you're asking like where it's going next, well, last night we wrote it down from here down to POC and then it pulled back, right? So as soon as it kissed that POC, it pulled back and now it's testing these higher zones, right?
So it's either going to break your 102 line there or it's going to shoot back to point of control. Correct?
Not necessarily. This is a huge point of control, right? Like this is the overall bigger picture. So if it does, generally speaking, what we're looking at is if it breaks POC, like right here, then it would continue down to test some of those lower zones. And those lower zones would be the high volume nodes right here. So if we got a POC break here, we'd be looking at testing some of these higher volume nodes here and here and here, right? Which are respected in consolidation. You can look at it.
Mhm.
Every single one of these high volume nodes are areas of consolidation over here, right? So it's a position of value, right? So what we've been doing is, again, like you said before, we were doing before was looking at this. So see all those POCs?
Yeah.
That makes it super, super, super confusing, right? Because now you got to look at all the structure, the support and resistance of every single structure. And then, because every single structure will have, like this is what I call in structure and out of structure. So this light area to the dark area. So I would say for this structure, that's your support, that's your resistance, and then you got your POC. So it might go up and test your support or resistance, but it needs to like to come back to POC. Just give me 1 second here. I just gotta check this trade.
Yeah, she's taking off right now. On the
Yeah,
one
right at the top of that breakout.
Yeah, there it is.
So now I'll put my stop loss at 50% of that big breakout candle and then forget about it. I missed my 15-minute breakout position. Yeah, so again, this, before I had a billion lines, with dates saying, okay, this is the, a red line right here, and it would say POC from June 10th, and then support or resistance from June 10th, support from June 10th, right? But now, that's my target right now, right? But as soon as you bring in your visual session volume, your visual range, it still respects every single support. So, they're right here on this structure that I'm kind of circulating right now, that structure, your support would be, or your resistance would be kind of this area, right? Which is also where the low volume nodes are, which is your structure, your resistance, right? Same thing with the bottom side. See how it dips right here with the low volume nodes?
Yeah.
Well, it does the same thing over here. So when we jump over to this side and we're coming back down, it's going to, respect that similar structure. So you got your high volume nodes here and your high volume nodes there, and your low volume nodes, which is once it is a strong support and resistance, right? So once it does break those low volume nodes, it usually does with energy. So it's a good, those are good breakout areas, right? But again,
And you guys must have made bank yesterday riding that all the way down.
yeah, I did. We did good. Like I think I was up 200 even I think it got, I seen 230 right at the bottom here, and then it pulled back and started to consolidate. And I was hoping for it to break my low again, just so I could get out with that 240 bucks. But I ended up getting out with $200 even. But
Nice.
yeah, so like when you're doing, when you're looking at trading, like, I don't know, high volatility sessions, like, you know, it's looking good right now and we got a lot of movement. We're kind of not really in any sort of, like, we're not in any high volume like London or New York, right? But when it is moving like this, you can just set your targets, right? Sorry, this is crazy because I'm used to the lower time frames. But when you're
So
looking
what
at,
would you set, like where it is right now, what would you then set for your take profit? Like, would you set it up to 100?
no, you don't do take profits. I don't know. I personally don't do take profits ever. Like,
Oh,
so say for right now, for instance, I
yeah.
have my stop loss right here, right?
Okay.
So in this one trade that I'm in is like I'm trading this as we speak, right? So if this will consolidate here again, right?
Yeah.
And see now it's coming down. So what
Yeah.
I'll do is I'll wait for that to break, or once it closes, and if it's kind of in that general range, then I'll drag my box down a bit, right? But this is showing me like a breakout, right? So there you go. It just kicked me out of my trade, right? So say this broke high. Well, then I would keep this trade in and I'd look at another potential position, right? And then I would drag my stop loss up to this breakout. But I don't know. I don't do take profits. Like what I will do is, like for instance, right here. So the next target area would be right here, right? So if this breaks out high, and I take a position, then, you know, I'll look at a consolidation happening around this area, right? And then if I want to, I'll drag my, so say it consolidates up here. I'll take my stop loss and just drag it to the bottom. So if it breaks out high, great, I'm in a position down here and I'll let it ride. If it breaks out low, well, there, it hit my stop loss, right? That's basically what I just did down here. So instead of hitting a take profit, so if I put a take profit here and it consolidates and breaks high, well, then I'm losing out a bunch, right? On whatever the continuation is. Because this could very well rally hard for the entire session, right? With the amount of energy and movement that we've seen since open, like it could, right? So
So
instead of
is
taking,
it doing that from, because yesterday it dropped crazy hard, so is today kind of it going crazy high to balance it?
I don't know, I just look at price action these days, honestly. Like I spent a couple weeks there just hammering hard, like fundamental analysis and finding out what, you know, news does and all this other crazy stuff. But I've just found that not, it's not really relevant to what we're doing, like with our scalping and stuff. See, that kicked me out. But if I would have had my stop loss a little bit lower, then I would have continued to let this ride until the new consolidation. And then again, if it broke low, close out, breaks high, well, then you're still in it and you can take another position if you want. Right. But I don't know. I could, like I said, I could make a TP right here, but I'd rather see it come back and hit a stop loss or continue up. Yeah, no, like I was saying there, I did a lot of fundamental analysis, and for weeks back when, like, I was expecting, I had it all drawn up, and based off of fundamental analysis, like I had a buy in right here
Yeah.
at that 242811, and I let it ride about, it was probably about 1400 pips for points, right? And I had like 4.01 lot sizes and ended up getting like $800, $1,200 in those trades. But I pulled out expecting a big drop off, right? Like fundamentally, we should be, like, I honestly believe fundamentally we should be testing this area, right? The 20,647. So like anything above this is federal injection. Like they pumped this little after this week here, they pumped, what was it, $2.2 trillion into the system, brought it up 3,000 points, right? And once the federal injection ended, like it's just been dropping off, right? And they call it like, it's all public record too, like you can look it up. But like I've been looking for a big, huge sell-off like this for a while, right? But as you can see, I've got this all drawn out for price action. I don't really look at the news anymore just because it's just manipulated so hard, right?
It is
And
crazy how much money they pump in to have results they want.
well, it's insane, right? But like what I have been doing is maybe it'll be easier over here. These open ranges. So this is where you get your positions to ride like big, longer trades, right? Like I had a sell in right here. Right here, actually, it came down, came back up, and I closed out in this area and got like, I think it was like 100 points. Yeah, something around that area. But then it ended up moving. $1,800, right? So these open session, or these open range breakouts. But as far as like news goes, I don't know. I'd pay attention to it just so that you can see when it's going to be crazy volatile. Because like that last time Trump was speaking a couple weeks ago, he did some crazy stuff.
Yeah, every time that guy opens his mouth, man.
Yeah, like those big announcements you got to watch out for. Otherwise, though, like, I don't know, news is, I don't know. It helps with direction sometimes, but then it all depends on if that's like a date that the Federal Reserves are pumping a bunch of money in, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's just price
So
action.
you have that open range Chris 3.3 on yours too, as well?
Yeah. I've been hammering that hard. I didn't do it today, but I should have. Because, yeah, I got in for the, what was it? One sec. Yeah, my entry from yesterday was at the open range breakout here. And then I think I ended up getting like 420 points or something.
Wow.
And it's powerful, like now today. And it's the same thing, like you do your breakout and then you put it in just over take profit and then see what happens. If it goes, a crazy amount and it goes to an area that you're liking and you see the dollar figure that you like, close out. But if not, then, but even if you close out, like, I don't know, I just like to bring my stop loss up instead of closing out, just because, if I see my dollar figure here and I set my stop loss here, it just keeps going, then I can keep riding it. I don't know, instead of just closing it completely.
Are you guys trading right now?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I just took that last breakout and got 8-10 pips or something.
Yeah, no, I'm not trading right now. No, I was gonna touch up on a little bit about stop loss and take profit and how I've been using them and the different situations. You guys know normally I don't use stop loss at all, and that's because I'm riding momentum. But I've really been focused on consolidation more and taking advantage of some of the reversal situations and rejections. You get a lot of hard rejections in your support and resistance, and they just take off, and there's a ton of momentum there. So I've been looking at different situations. So I guess I'm gonna try and find some where I guess right here. So let's look at this one.
Yeah, I'll get you to share your screen.
All right.
Okay, giver.
Yeah, that would help. I do that every time. There it is. You can see it. All right. So I guess in a situation like this, this particular trade. So if I was looking, I get my resistance and I got my support drawn in there and I'm looking for a reversal. Now it's going to look a little bit better on my 1 minute in this particular situation, but I can still see this is the type of consolidation I've been pointing out, when the chart's moving and you get that pullback. That's exactly what it is. So this one, it'd look a little better on the 1 minute, but I guess in a situation like this, if I was trying to catch a reversal, whenever I'm suspecting it to exhaust and start to reverse and turn the other way, and let's say, maybe I placed my entry once it passed up this wick right here. Let's say it just passed up right there, and we'll call that my entry. And so in this situation for stop loss, I would do exactly what Kyle's been saying and placing it outside of my box. So this is where I have my support drawn up. I would probably drop my stop loss a little bit further outside of my box just in case, it comes back for, I guess a retest and it goes a little beyond, it tests a little bit. You don't want to get stomped out of something that's potentially going to be this. So I would be placing my stop loss maybe a little bit beyond these wicks and then take profit. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, just outside of structure, like just
yeah,
outside
exactly.
the area.
Yeah, exactly. Just outside this, where I'm confident that price, if it were to hit my stop loss, I'm confident that it's going to be going the other direction, and it was just a bad trade. So I would, I'd place it right there. And then as far as take profit goes, this is where I use a little bit of session volume and seeing where price is active at. So in this situation, obviously you got a lot going on in here. So I know that. So in this situation, I would probably be placing my take profit again, kind of the same deal, a little bit away. I'd be placing a little bit before that area. So probably somewhere up here. And if I end up riding it all the way, in this situation, it did hit right here. And that would have went for, so if I got in, what would we say right here? So 159 pips. So that's the type of setups that I've been using to get a lot of these longer breakouts. So I'm still taking breakouts, but now I've really tapped into this consolidation and learning more about these reversals and catching bigger moves. God, I went back and I looked at some of my profits from a few weeks ago, and you could tell that, it was 5, 10 pips, 8 pips on average maybe. And now I'm getting up 30 pips, 20 pips on every move. So that's how session volume is really helping me. And that's just one setup where I'm using my stop loss and take profit. Now, normally I just manage my trades right then and there, so I'm not needing to do take profit or a stop loss or anything like that. But it's helped me where I'm on the fly during the day. If I happen to pick up my phone and I see something good on the screen and I know what's going to happen, setting it up like this, maybe I can find another one. It's really, like Kyle said, just setting that stop loss outside the structure, because we know that US30 respects a structure. So if you set a stop loss just outside, something like this, if it's gonna take it and it's probably just a bad trade, and I'm confident that it's gonna go the opposite direction. So since I've been doing this, I haven't been stomped out of a trade yet. So it's really been working when I combine it with session volume and understanding where price is going. So Kim, I'm gonna talk a little bit about where I would look at price going next.
Okay.
So for me, If we reject right here, my initial thought would be coming back to point of control. And then if we continued to break here, then I'm starting to look at this point of control. Now, if we turn around here, I think Kyle said something about, I was looking at this high volume node right here. So this is the general area that I would see price coming to if we this was just back and we're going to continue up.
I'll show you something though. Like that's exactly what we were looking at. So zoom back out again to the kind of area that you were looking at, and scroll to the right a bit, just to give you some room on the right hand side.
Okay.
Okay, now go up to your indicators.
All right.
And just to show you what we were playing with, and now go down to the very bottom volume profile.
All right.
And then go to visible range.
Okay.
And then set it to, again, do the settings to 165.
All right. Where do I find that? I have to.
So double click the structure.
Okay.
So yeah, double click the structure, bring up your stuff, go to inputs, go to, I don't know, I'm at 120 and 70 right now.
So row size?
Yeah.
120. All right.
And then 70, and then box width on is 30.
2070 style 30. Okay. Yeah. That looks good. All right. So what are you seeing?
Okay. So scroll in just a bit more. Out a bit. Right there. Right there. That's good. So even go out just a bit more. Okay, there you go. So you got 1, 2, 3 plus today's structure. So now if you take a look at your targets, take a look at your current targets for your POC and your zones that you've been looking at. And now instead of looking at 3 different structures plus today, if you look on the right-hand side,
this is everything.
It shows you everything.
So this is everything from now, everything.
Now that's
what do you mean by everything? Like how many sessions in all of this?
Everything you see is respected on that right-hand side.
Oh, everything I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, you keep zooming out, it'll just keep moving.
It'll keep growing. Okay.
Yeah, so that's how it just simplifies it tremendously, right? So instead of like when we were on the downside, when we were below any recent, you kept having to scroll over to the other side of this mountain, right? Essentially.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with what you're looking at now, you still have your POCs, your high volume nodes. So like take put lines at your previous points of your target. So your next target, put it on your, like use a line or something.
So where I thought the target was going to be right here.
Yeah. Just draw it out how you would have normally.
Okay. So, well, that's where I would have thought, whatever, that's my target where I think it's going to go. Right?
According to what's on the left, right? So ignore what's on the right for a minute and just do your analysis.
So I would have thought that I'm coming out to this higher volume node. If, we got movement going back this way, that's where I probably would have set it. And if I wanted to place a longer move, I would have set a take profit just shy of that area.
Yeah. So now you got your, if you don't scroll, but just look up to that you'll see at the very top. So if we continue up, then there's that next big POC at the very top there. Yeah. And that's super high volume nodes. But see how every step of the way on the way up, it's got your high volume nodes and your next target area.
Here. Right.
So if it does break your current black line, then the next target area is going to be that next high volume node.
So you're saying you would go off of this side definitely versus this side.
Well, but look at it though. It's very similar, right? But instead of looking at, but if you look at the one from the third one to the left, and then you would have to kind of add, it's confusing because if you have 3 or 4 of them that are stacked, like they are right now, like which one are you looking at for it to respect, right? You got low volume nodes. If you go to the next structure, 1, 2, 3 left, there's some super low volume nodes, but on the next structure, those are high volume areas. And then on the next structure, it's the biggest volume area, right? So like, if you look at because it doesn't respect the next day. So it gets confusing, right? So all we're doing is looking at, and then when you're looking at lower time frames or higher time frames, like I scalp on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, right? But I also look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour. But each one, I'm going to be zoomed in a different amount, right? Like on my 4 hour, when I had it on my screen there, we were looking at 20 days, which is 20 sessions. So how would you look at 20 sessions for session volumes, right? You wouldn't.
Right.
It'd be impossible because you'd have a billion support and resistance lines for session structure and POCs and all that other craziness, right? But when you're looking at your visual session volume, it takes everything into account. Every single one of those zones are still respected. They're still shown. It just makes it a lot easier and just shows you the bigger picture, right?
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty
Exactly what you're doing.
I would have. Yeah, no, I like that a little better.
But you could, yeah, it's the exact same thing, exactly what you're doing now, but just way cleaner, way easier, and just 10 times easier to look at. Because,
Yeah,
like, for instance, what's that?
What I liked about session volume versus quarter points, I guess, is this was more accurate to the stops that it was taking. You know, quarter points is still respects in the way that US30 moves, but I mean, going 250 pips, sometimes that takes a while. And with this, I don't know, I'm finding that it's a little more accurate. I'm placing longer moves.
Yeah. Well, it's literally like it's not just like quarter points are respected, yes, and it's kind of a theory, but these are the actual dollar amounts
Yeah,
where
this is
there's price, right? So it is a lot more accurate. But like, yeah, now if you open your session volume right now, for your visual,
Yeah.
and close out your daily, still respects the same areas, but while you're mapping and everything, it will it just makes it so much cleaner. Like, how do you map that if you're mapping right now? Like, good luck. You know what I mean?
No. I like this because on the 15-minute chart, I mean, that's powerful right there on a 15-minute chart, all these sessions, and it really traps it down for you into
Oh man, it'll show you where it's gonna like if we break high to that next POC with the current visual session, then we're gonna expect the consolidation there, right?
right.
Like it's a map of all the consolidations areas, your next target area. If it breaks low, you can target your next, you know where your next target area is, and so on and so forth, right? Even when you're scalping on the minute, dude, like if you zoom in and scalp and look at the minute with the visual session, it'll tell you every single area from the top to the bottom. Now to find your areas above, obviously you'd have to zoom out and map on the 15 or something. But like, here, I'll show you something. Let me share my screen again for a sec.
Yeah, let me, there we go. You're good to go.
Okay, I gotta find it now. Disappeared. Just a sec. Too many screens. What the heck?
So on the 1 minute right now, what I'm looking at is 25,992 for a sell if it broke that.
Where do I find that? Little icon just disappeared on me.
Just if people want to reference that while you find what you're looking for, Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah, ever since I really took, and you know, I'm going to be honest with you for a minute, Kyle, I still haven't even read or even looked into that session volume book.
It's all good, man. I haven't either.
Man, I've really been meaning to, but it's hard, you know, when you're introduced to something and you start applying it and, you know, it clicks really quick with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing success using it already. It's hard. You know, I still got to drive myself to go back and read it, but
no, it's all good.
Everything's broken out so far. So
I'm on page like 54.
And it starts at what, 51?
Yeah. Like I'm super like analytical and I don't know. I
For
do it
me, man, you
and
can
I'm
tell me
good.
to use an indicator. You can tell me to look at something. Uh, Man, the first thing I do when I put an indicator up is I'm going to go back and look at the market and find the consistencies myself before I even go read up on it or do anything. So that's part of the reason why I haven't even read anything on session volume, because I put the indicator on there and then I'm going to go back as far as I need to, years if I need to look at the market and see, how the indicator has been performing and seeing the consistencies that's happening. That's the only reason I really haven't read anything about it, because I don't need to, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm bad too because it's like I've been learning and using it.
I
And that's
want to,
what I've been learning.
It's easier to help people out when you know what you're talking about and not just what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's why my terminology is totally off of Derek's because I haven't read it and he has. So he's using the actual terminology and everything, and I'm not. But so what I was gonna show you quick was just this. So say, I do my 1 minute breakout. So say this broke up, I would look for the consolidation breakout high. I could take another position there, another one there,
Yeah, exactly. Those are all your consolidations.
another one there. But when it comes back down, yeah, same thing you're doing. But if you look on the right, your visual session, those are right at those nodes, right?
Yeah.
So going back down, if it does break down, you're going to expect a break or a consolidation on those same areas coming back down, right? And see those lines. Yeah, they just respect every bit of it. It's insane. Yeah, no, I haven't. It's funny though. I haven't read the books either.
Yeah, I haven't. And I'm trying to go back now and read the candlestick. I just see, I'm at the point now where I'm not using any indicators. So I'm really trying to find more material on price action and just getting better in that area.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm going for. But right now, I mean, it's going good. I'm not using any indicators anymore.
Yeah, the only one I use is Stotch RSI, and the only reason is because I find it disrespects it tremendously.
It does. It does. I had the RSI up and I had the stochastic and I think even the MACD, but I just had them minimized for so long, so I got rid of them now. But
Yeah.
man, it does. It respects it. What indicators are you guys using? Ty, what indicators?
I'm just using like even myself, I haven't really read like session volume yet. I'm only like 40 pages in, but I'm starting to use. Well, I'm using session volume now, Stotch RSI and like MACD. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using the session vol. I mean, I guess that's the only indicator that I'm actually using, and man, it's been a total game changer. And like I said, everything that you need to know is right there in front of you, and the answers are all right there.
Well, even like
So,
this, what Kyle's showing here, this investing.com, this is a gold mine resource.
Yeah, this is my cheat sheet for
This
instead of
was-
having a bunch of indicators. I run this on one of my windows, and it tells you like if I'm taking a scalp or whatever, I'll look at my 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute quick,
right.
and saying strong buys, right? But it tells you every single possible indicator you could ever imagine, just green across the board, right? Same thing with the 5 minute, right? Except for a couple, and then the 1 minute. So right now, the 1 minute's indicating a buy, but it's just a quick glance, right? And this just runs all the time on my other screen. And I never have to really look at any sort of crazy indicators because I just take a look at this and it's generally speaking strong buy, right?
Right.
So 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, and 30 minute, if they're all strong buys like they are right now, then I'd be looking into potentially holding that position and being a little bit more conservative with my stop loss, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I just put a link there in the chat to investing.com for everybody if they want to go copy that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys use that momentum one that Omar was talking about?
No.
The indicator.
Yeah,
Momentum
I put that on my. I don't know how good I am at this. I'm just learning from all you guys. I've been going through Manny's boot camp too.
There you go.
That's more than I've done, honestly, so it's good.
I didn't get through Manny's boot camp. I got about a couple videos in.
I'm really bad. I'm super hands-on, so I miss all that.
Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend it. I went through the academy. I did finish the academy all the way and then tapped into Manny's boot camp a little bit. And that's all the knowledge I took from iMarkets. I never really did anything with the educators, following their trading sessions or anything.
So we watched a YouTube thing yesterday. Ty, what was that chick's name? She turned
Oh.
$500 into 50 grand in like 6 weeks. I'm like, oh my God, I suck.
That's
It's
pretty
like
good.
Amanda something, and she lives
Yeah,
in Bali.
she just, but like, and so that's why I decided, and I need to just get better at reading the charts because like she can like map everything. So yeah, like, are you guys making that kind of bank?
No, not yet.
It's getting to the point when like I'm placing trades, it's more of just collecting. I'm really getting more confident in my trades to where I'm not, I'm placing it and I'm not feeling like, I'm going to lose or anything. It's more just like a job, just collecting money. And that's where I'm getting, honestly, if I never came across session volume, I don't think I would have got to be this comfortable with the market, because before my problem is having a good idea of where it was going to go in the long run.
Yeah.
And so now I'm comparing the news with session volume and the different levels that US30 is trading in, and basing my opinion off of that, and then sticking to the regular breakouts. Now you get to I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, so
I dropped the link there to the YouTube video where you're talking about in the chat. So
Sweet.
okay. So like in a situation like this, right here. So, we were respecting this coming down and it hit this area. So I drew up this, man, a few days ago. I drew this up, or last week or something, this line. And so if I was waiting for it to break here, this is exactly how I'm catching these long moves, is waiting for this big break. So I'm still sticking to the main breakout, strategy that I've been doing, and session volume, trading the levels. Now this situation comes and I'm very confident to enter this trade, drop a stop loss right here at my support, and just ride it. And this whole thing went for what? I think like 500 pips or something. If you got in this box.
Wow.
500 pips. So seeing this whole structure, and let me see if I can. Yeah. So then here it is, and boom, right down to here.
Wow.
So that's really what I'm doing. And I'm waiting for, and how I'm going to catch these bigger moves is just the more tension. It goes up for a while, it's going to come back down. I mean, this is only going to go up so long before it has to have some pullback and retest. I'm convinced that this is going to continue to go up a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. In this situation, if we break here and we continue up, I'd probably get in and move here, set a stop loss here, let it ride, maybe set that take profit up here where we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely been a game changer for me. Do you guys have any questions how I'm using session volume or anything like that?
The biggest thing that we wanted to see earlier was, well, for one, just the three of us or the four of us just going through and just bullshitting for a bit and going over a few things like this. But we were just curious, like, because your accuracy is just insane. So you're still mainly focused on your 5 minute and obviously watching your energy on the minute.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
So
I'm
it does.
sticking.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
So
you good.
So you're just really patient then with your positions.
Yeah. So what I do is kind of throughout the day, I pick up my phone. So I'm very aware throughout the day where the market is. And that's how I maintain being patient is, distracting myself with other things. But in this situation, I pick my phone up and drop a support right here, drop a resistance right here. And then every now and then I kind of look at it and flip through and get to that point. But yeah, I'm just staying patient with it. My main confirmation is like when I was trading currency pairs, it was the 15-minute. That's where I placed my moves. That's what I looked on. That's what everything was based off, was those 15-minute moves. So here, that for US30, that's my 5-minute. I like the setups on the 1 minute. I mean, this is clear. So I'll trade 1 minute, depending on the speed of the market. Sometimes it's moving fast enough where I'm just trading it all together on the 5 minute, but everything is based off my 1 minute and my 5 minute. And that's it. And that's how I'm just catching these clean entries. And the other thing with the entries is I've been getting entries just outside support or resistance. Before, I was kind of waiting for it to break and get a little ways away from my resistance. So I wasn't, or so that I was confident that it wasn't going to be a pullback or a retest and go right back into consolidation.
Yeah.
So I've been getting a lot of moves that are right outside support and resistance. And that's really due to session volume and just paying attention to the news. If there's a lot of good news and it looks like it's going to be bullish, I'm picking out my levels and paying attention to session volume. And that's how I'm going to catch the longer moves there.
How long you been trading for again?
7 months.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah, about 7-8 months.
No, that's sweet. Good for you, man. Looks clean. I like it. I clean out my screens more and more. The biggest thing now is just price action and some of the price action and targets and stuff. And then just style chart side.
So I have a hello guys. My name is Musa. I just have a quick question for both of you, Patrick and Kyle.
What's up?
Just wondering, so you guys are and sound pretty confident, and obviously you guys showed the result as well. What would be the reason for not upping the lot size, and how do you hold yourself from not doing that? Because I get very I don't know. I up my lot size as soon as I see the opportunity, but sometimes obviously it bites. What do you guys? How do you guys handle that?
Can I? Well, right off the bat, man, let me answer. So I don't really pay attention to my lot size, and what I mean by that is maybe the way that you pitch that question would be money motivated. Like for me, when it comes down to my lot size, I can leverage a lot higher than what I do. I don't necessarily go based off of how much you can leverage. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess what I would say is learn to grow on a small lot size, like a 0.01 on Hugo's way or something. If you can, for instance, for me, I knew that if I could grow a 0.01 on US30 to $500 a day or something off a $1 lot size, I can catch 500 pips. Lot size doesn't make a difference to me. I mean, it really doesn't. If you catch the right move at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to tell you. Catch the right move.
Yeah. No, makes sense. But it's just like, because obviously you're so consistent, which is
I just
great.
have I guess I have a vision for that day of what I want to come out to, what do I want to amount to. And yeah, I could probably do it a lot faster on a higher lot size, but for me and comfort level and emotion,
Yeah.
the lot size that I'm at, I guess it's because, in a $12 pip lot size or something, and you see drawback on a trade can be any $200-300. I'm comfortable with that. You get
Yeah.
upward, I start upping my lot and negative $500, $600, $700. That's a little uncomfortable to me. So
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't, that's something I never went off the books by, when you start and, the lot size, what you should be leveraging. Yeah, stick with that. And you don't want to over leverage, but don't feel that you, just because of what you have in your account, that you have to keep up in your lot size. Find something that's comfortable and move with that.
Yeah, no, great point for sure. No, I know. I noticed I changed my broker to Oanda,
Okay.
and they have a 1 to 50 regulated broker, 1 to 50 leverage, and it's made a big difference in terms of comfort. And I do the SPX,
Hey,
which is very correlated.
do you use the trading platform?
Trading View? Yeah.
Oh, the Oanda FX Trade, right?
FX, yes, I believe so. No, I don't use theirs, but I use the MT4.
I was just curious.
You recommend their platform?
No, I don't know. I played around with it a little bit. It's all right. It's not bad. It's clean.
Yeah, it is clean. Yeah.
But I don't really use it.
Yeah, but no, with the leverage, I mean, I do find I'm more comfortable now. Like, I can sit back a little more. Whereas in before, it was just like 1 to 200, 1 to 500 leverage. It was just a killer.
Yeah, I hear you.
Kyle, and then Kyle goes in with 200 pips at 0.01, which is amazing patience.
That's huge.
But yeah, it doesn't happen often. I'm just trying my best to get to that. Like today,
how do you base your lot sizes versus account balance? And
I'm still figuring that out, man. Honestly, my biggest issue that I have right now, like I'm getting the breakouts, getting everything, 70 to 80% wins every day. Like everything's good. My biggest issue is honestly that the lot sizes and getting in and out of trades. Like obviously I can get wicked entries, but then when I don't, I'm letting shit ride too long
before you close out.
Before I close out, and that's why I'm practicing more and more. Like if it pulls back, just getting out, right? If it starts to pull back before it even starts to get really negative, just getting to close out and everything, right? But that's my biggest issue is I'll I don't know, let me rephrase that. I'll trade when I shouldn't be.
This might be the most reliable way for
I'll trade like I know personally that for me the market is best between about 10 a.m. to close for US30 and at about pre-open or pre-London, so about 11 o'clock at night for me, right? But it's hard for me to stick to those times, right? Yeah. So for lot size, for me, that's honestly an ongoing battle for me, deciding what I should and shouldn't be trading, because I'll have like 10 straight wins, and then all of a sudden I'll up my lot size and then take a big loss. Yeah. But then you're invested too much. So now you know that you're leveraging too much. You have too big of a lot size when you're holding into those losses way too long, right? So that's where you start to see, 70, 80% wins, but you're still in the negative for the day, right?
Yeah, that's what happens, man.
So it's just comfort is the biggest thing, and honestly, when you do up your lot size, you cannot pay attention to it.
I had to kind of train myself. I had to kind of train myself just, not to pay attention to the money at all.
Yeah.
Work
Yeah,
on
no,
that.
I had that issue as well before, and honestly, from the call that I did with Patrick, that helped out a lot as well. Like it was very hard for me to leave trades. Like I would be up $750 because of my leveraging, but it was just very hard to click that button. I don't know what it was, and then you see it draw down, and I have to close it at 150
Your thing's tripping out.
or whatever.
Can you guys hear him?
But yeah, as well. But then after speaking with Patrick about it, you just forget about it.
Yeah, we missed all that, Holmes. Hear you say that?
Me?
Yeah, you're
You cut out.
just tripping out the whole time.
I think your internet cut out.
Oh, sorry. But no, I said I had a call with Patrick a few weeks ago, and honestly, that helped me out a lot with the lot size and all that. Because I would be in a trade, and my lot size would be like 0.10 on Hugo's way, and I would be up literally $750. But it was very hard for me to click close. Like I wouldn't close a trade. I don't know what it was, but then I would forcefully close it because I see it going down, and I would close it at 150. I'm not sure why I didn't take that 600 profit, on top of that. But
yeah, for sure.
I learned that after Patrick's call is once you literally, because I asked him like, yeah. So once you close it, you literally just forget about it, especially if you're in profit.
Move on to the next one.
The feel is still good, Yeah.
Musa, bro, if you have a $600 trade open, take that shit.
Take that shit all day long.
I swear to God, you
Even
don't
fucking
even
$100, fucking take it. Yeah.
Take that
you
shit.
don't. Yeah, you guys don't even know how many I have missed out on and see it draw back down to. I would still leave in profit, but it was just like wasting money. And literally, my finger was so close to pressing close, but it just wouldn't. I don't know. Like it's just, yeah. It's a mental game for sure.
Bro, you gotta have that. You have to have that magic number in your head.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
if you come across that profit that you're content with, take it and reevaluate. Wait for that setup again and repeat. Do it all over again, bro. Don't get too caught up. And that's where the money part is gonna get you. You're paying too much attention to the money. Pay attention to that trade and the trades that you're gonna be making, and the money's just gonna, it's gonna be there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It did help. That call definitely helped. Like it changed everything a little more. But yeah, it was a struggle until.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It is hard for me too. I battle that all the time, and yeah, it's the same thing. I've seen some huge numbers and not closed out, right? But again, it goes back to like if it continues in your favor, just drag your stop loss, right? Bring it a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and like once you see those really nice, dollar figures that you're liking, as soon as it breaks that to the next zone, just drag that stop loss into that area, right?
Into profit and then just leave it.
Well, into like what I do, I don't know. I put flags up. Like if I'm in a longer trade, I'll put my entry on there, and then I'll also sorry, I'm just looking at a trade at the same time. But yeah, I'll just drag my stop loss into the area where I seen like that $200 mark. Like last night, I made a box. It was at $200 to $230. So I drew a box, like a box off, like boxing method type thing, and then I wrote in it $200, right? This is my guaranteed $200 zone. So as soon as it broke that zone, I dragged my stop loss into it, and then you don't have to think about it. You're getting at least $200 out of that whole trade. You don't have to consider closing it out, because if it does, go backwards, then your minimum $200. Or if you see 600 and you think it's going to keep going, drag it up to 550, your stop loss, and then you know, you're guaranteeing yourself the majority of the money, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's what I've been doing, man. If you look at my trades, like all of them, anytime you see me post, 90% of the time, it's red. It's the red little icon that hits stop loss. Like 1, 2, we got. So eight of my trades have hit stop loss. The other 8 were closed out. Right. So I'm practicing
Yeah, that's
that
great.
too, because again, it's the same thing for me. I don't like closing out because again, it's just like, oh well, if I close out and it keeps going, you know, that's gonna suck. But then if it pulls back and hits your stop loss, it's just, I don't know, it matches you a little bit better, right?
That's true.
And again,
It
it's the
does.
same exact theory as the breakout method and how he's Patrick is putting his stop loss previous to the end, previous to the structure for his breakout. It's the same thing. Once you go to the next breakout, you just put your stop loss halfway or whatever, or just outside of. Here, I'll share my screen and show you again. I've kind of gone over this a few times.
How was everybody's day today, man? Everybody crush it or what?
I did decent lunch break scalp on Power Hour, so it wasn't bad. So
Man,
I made like $27 in like 10 minutes. So
hey, there you go, man. I had a bad experience with Power Hour one time, and I haven't traded it since.
yeah,
I love Power Hour now.
yeah.
I like
It
it.
was like 10 minutes on my lunch. I was pretty stoked. So quick 10 minutes,
See, my screen.
especially while you're at work.
Yeah, while you're at work making money on the clock, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Double duty.
Hey.
Yeah, so say you're down here at this little trade right here, this little breakout,
Mhm.
and I took my position here and it breaks high. Again, I'll where's my indicator? Put your stop loss just outside of structure, right? Right, so if it breaks high and then consolidates again, you can do the same thing, drag it up just below. And then if it continues higher, you do the same thing, right? Continues higher, you do the same thing. And you're just riding that trade out, right? You're still making the most you can possibly make with it, right?
Mhm.
And then if it starts to consolidate here and breaks low, well, you just maximized your profits and you lost maybe from your stop loss to the high, like 49 points, right? Jesus, that was trippy.
Sorry, guys, that was me. Oh man, trying to exit.
Freaking
Sorry,
me
I
out.
just got on my computer.
Yeah, no, I've been all over the place the last couple days with my trades. Just trading stupid times like this where it's just consolidating crazy and shouldn't be taking positions, and I'm just on the chart, so I want to. So I'll take positions and it fakes me out and wicks and does all this craziness.
Yeah, man, that's something I struggled with for a while. And it's just about, knowing when to trade. I'm addicted to trading. I love to trade, but I guess times where I'm not feeling it and I know that it's not the right time to trade, that's when I'm going to go on demo and just mess around for the most part. But it's tough.
Yeah, I gotta practice that. That's my biggest thing right now, honestly.
That's what I did when I started. I opened myself a demo that was just to kind of screw around on. Then I had a demo that was something that I was working on seriously, practicing different strategies and growing it. And then, I had my live account. And so whenever I knew it just wasn't the right time to trade, I would be working on, you know, whatever the demo or whatnot.
Yeah.
So far, so US30 right now with what I have drawn up is respecting my trend line going up.
Yeah, nicely actually.
I got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Would you what kind of resource would you recommend if I wanted to study a little more like price action stuff? Is there anything that you would look at in like particular, kind of like study kind of thing?
Stare
Or
at
like
the
price
chart.
action theory?
Yeah, honestly, bro. I mean, so Candlestick Bible is definitely something that I read.
Yeah, I've read that, yeah.
But other than that, man, I haven't really done anything. I'll be
Okay.
honest with you, man. It's really all just on the chart and what I've learned with seeing it.
Okay.
And I hate saying that, man, because
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, no.
I
I'm
hate
learning too,
saying
so
that, like, nah, it's on the chart, but
yeah. No.
You can't explain momentum and energy
Yeah.
and stuff.
yeah,
You
it's
literally
hard.
just like watch it and see it
You have to
happen. So.
understand it, you know. You have to know it. You have to understand it when it happens. And,
Mhm.
you know, I try my best to share with everybody, you know, what I'm seeing. But
Yeah. I've been learning lots too watching, but I was wondering if, yeah. All good. Yeah.
I hear you, man. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, sure. My name's Mike, by the way.
Yo, Mike.
Oh, nice to meet you.
you. So are you looking at that 25,992 on US30 to break?
Let me share my screen and we'll talk about it. So, what did you say? 25,992?
Yeah.
Yeah, so about right here. Well, this is where I have my trend line set. So, I have my trend line set here, and it's been respecting it once,
Okay.
twice, 3 times, 4 times. So yeah, actually, about about right here is probably now. If I were to draw a horizontal line here, I'd probably draw it right in this same spot. So yeah, right about in this point, I'm looking for a sell.
Yeah.
If we come up and we touch this, I'm looking for it to go that way. And so honestly, if we broke up this price right here, why is this being so messed up? Yeah, so if we broke this up and we were headed up, I would probably be looking somewhere around here as a destination, 26,175, 150.
Okay. So like my question would be where would you put the stop losses?
So are you,
doing that trade?
well, it depends on the situation. That's going to be different. Normally with what I'm doing, I don't use stop loss.
Yeah. But like
So
mentally.
when it comes to take profit and stop loss, it's going to be based on consolidation and the type of situation that I'm placing. Now, I guess let's talk about this situation. If I was going to place a move here, so I would have my stop loss, or excuse me, my support drawn out like this. Let me get that out of the way. So I would have my support right here. I would call my resistance somewhere up here. I'm pretty loose with it if there's not a lot of touches on it. Obviously, there's not a whole lot going on up here, so I'll kind of just draw something up. But anyway, so if I was looking for this as a reversal, you know, and I thought that it was going to continue this way, once I pass up this area right here, so I'd probably place let's just say I placed a buy right here, and then I would place my stop loss right at my support, or well, actually just right outside my support. Now, you have to keep in mind, this is going to depend on your account size, your risk management. I always recommend, you know, never risk more than 3% a trade. So that's going to depend on your lot size. You know, whatever you have going on, you'll have to do that math yourself. But generally, keep it right outside the structure, and I'll place a buy. And for me, to be honest with you, in this move, I wouldn't be looking to catch that whole move that goes up there. I guess it would depend on the situation. But if I were to place a buy right here, and I would set a take profit, probably right here at these wicks, just under where I set my resistance. And that would still turn out. So if I set the buy, we said right here, and we've already, I mean, look at it, there it goes. But so if I set my take profit, about right here, that's still 40 pips, 39, 40 pips. So that in this situation, that is how I would use a take profit and a stop loss. I would set my stop loss just outside my support so that I know that if it comes down to retest this support, it's not going to touch it unless it's actually going to carry on that way. But I mean, look at this. If I was playing this situation right there, buy right here, take profit right at whatever, right in this area. I mean, man, 40 pips right there, clean. And your stop loss is set in a position where you're not, that's pretty average right there, about 30 pips. That's a pretty good, stop loss in this situation, gives your trade a lot of room to breathe. Now, if you had more time to manage and trail your stop loss, and, you could have placed this buy right here, set your stop loss here, you get up here, move your stop loss into profit, and then continue to trail that to where I thought the market was going to go. What I'm looking at right now, what I think right now is, you've had this big climb. We're going to see something come back and hopefully climb, but get rid of that. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's good. I guess if you would have re-entered, I guess, again, if it broke the top of resistance there, right?
Yeah, so no, you're right. If I caught this move right here and we went up, so this is that reversal type consolidation that I'm looking for, that slow consolidation down and explodes up. Yeah, you could have caught it here, and then I would go down to my 1 minute to identify. Yeah, so I would put this right here as my resistance. 1, 2, 3 touches down on it. That's as clean as it's gonna get. Yeah, so I would put it right here, and if it broke right here, that's a possible re-entry. Yeah, man, my whole thing is just to stay out of a move. I don't like to sit in anything too long.
Yeah. How long do you usually in an average move?
So when I started my strategy, I was normally 5 to 10 pips, and look at this, man. That was a fucking perfect trade. Excuse me, but yeah. So in this situation now with this reversal setup right here that we're looking at, I want to talk about this for a minute. So because I want to pull this up on my 1 minute too. So this setup right here, well, I guess on your 1 minute, you would have caught a breakout right here. I guess it's not going to go in my favor, but so it still would have been a breakout right there. But so this trade right here, I would have entered this right after this candle. And most times that you get this, let me see. I mean, look, here it is again. That slow consolidation down explodes up. Slow consolidation down explodes. Same thing. So it's fucking everywhere. But I would have entered right here and probably take profit anywhere right there in that move.
Okay, so now that it broke your line, that would you go in and buy now?
No.
Because it broke the last top wick.
Right. So now this is where I'm going to be paying attention to momentum. So cool. I'm glad that you asked that. So when things test support and resistance, if it breaks up like this, that's a fake out. Right now, this is a fake out. If you're talking about support resistance and the breakout scenario, that's a fake out. Now another candle's opening. So if this candle opens up and passes up this wick, then I'm going to get in.
Okay.
You could, because what could happen is you have all this momentum in one candle and it exhausted,
Yeah.
and that's all it was ever going to be. That's all it was. All the momentum was packed in this one candle, and now we're going to turn around and come back to consolidation because that was
See, that's where I get faked out. I'm like, oh, I'm missing the breakouts.
yeah. So
So for me to catch 3 breakouts today was like pretty exciting.
No, I'm glad that you did, and that's awesome. But what you have to pay attention to in this candle is that's a big candle, and all the momentum was in this area right here. The momentum was that area, and that was it. It was slow right here. It boosted up right here, slowed down around this price, around these wicks, and continued up. So for it to break right here, there's no momentum.
Okay.
That's why I'm not going to get in that move. You saw it, right? You saw it. This green box that I put, that's where the momentum was. And that's how I'm catching these type of rejection trades is I'm always going for the momentum. That's every time. And it's the same thing in this situation right here. You have that slow consolidation. That momentum is going to be found right here.
That makes so much sense. It's the momentum also in that big candle. Okay, awesome. That was a great explanation. Thank you.
Good.
That helps me a lot because I get caught in these fake out things at the top. But yeah, when you say it's slowing at the top, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because the other thing that you have to think about is, all right, so let's look right here. There's a lot of play in this area, and this is where it's topping out at. So this could ultimately reject this area. And all this could be is just a fake out. It tested this area, didn't like it, and now this could be the peak. This could be when we turn around and we start coming down here. You just don't know. I would definitely wait. And yeah, so it's exhausted right here. We don't know what it's going to do in this area. It might come back this way. It might go that way. In this situation, because of where the market is, I probably wouldn't do a whole lot of trading, in this area right here.
Because it literally could break like reverse hard.
Yeah, I mean it could reject this area, and if it rejected, so let's say if I was going to play this as a rejection trade, let's go to the 1 minute. It's going to be clear right now. That's exhaustion right there. The tall wicks, it's going to come down. If we played this area and it's going to reject, I'd probably get in a sell right here, and then carry it down to. So let's say I was going to trade this as a rejection. I would place a sell maybe about right here. I would place my stop loss right up here where this wick was. And I'd probably place take profit just before, so about right here. Now, if I did that, let's say I took this trade right here, set take profit just before my support, 89 pips, 80 to 89 pips. Now that situation I wouldn't play though, just because the market's actually climbing. But in a situation like this, where it's trading in a channel and it's slowed down, you can get away with those bigger trades. But
So Patrick, do you use session volume just for exits in a trade, or?
So session volume, the only thing that I'm using it for is just a roadmap of where price is potentially going to go. With US30 trading in levels, it's, you don't necessarily have to use a session volume, but what this does is it gives me, the overall volume where that money is for the day. So in each session, and that's kind of like how we were talking earlier, where US30 respects quarter points. It kind of respects this more in the sense that, look, I mean, it left this, it cleared up these 2 point of controls for those session. I mean, this is a whole day session and this was the point of control. So it passed up these 2 areas. when it passes up and it gets about right here, I'm very convinced, that we're at least coming down to here. This was a point in control from, another day. So trades in these levels comes down to this point of control, breaks this. Once it breaks up this price right here, I'm in for a sell again, and we're all the way down to this point of control. You can just see how it's trading these point of controls. That's the only thing that I'm using it for, is just a roadmap and an idea where we're going. Like I said, man, if this continues to go up, I'm going to bet on that it's going to come up here. And if it breaks this and continues going up, after a pullback, of course, I'm thinking it's going to come to this area. So it's just confirming a little roadmap for me to help with the breakouts and giving me more confidence to sit into the breakout trades longer.
Okay. And when you see an opportunity for like a longer trade, would you still enter on the 5 minute, or would you look at other time frames?
So the only times that I really go down to the 1 minute, or from the 5 minute to the 1 minute, is times like this where, so really anytime outside of New York, I guess you could say, whenever it's moving this slow, I will trade 1 minute. Catch the market mid New York session. I'm not going to trade it 1 minute. It's moving too fast. I guess
for those longer,
really all depends.
For those longer trades, you don't like use the 15 or something?
When it comes to longer trades, I don't necessarily know which one of my trades are going to be the longer trades.
Okay.
That's more of just, in a situation like this, let's say we climb for quite a bit. There's going to be a pullback. So if I were to catch a sell, and let's say we broke up price right here on a pullback, so we broke up maybe this area, I will place a sell for a longer move and sit in it. But yeah, I don't really necessarily know which moves are going to be longer. Like you could say maybe I'm trading this right here, and I mean this whole move from support out is 170 pips, and I definitely didn't trade that whole move. So you could say for a longer move would just be catching this breakout and sitting in it.
Yeah.
And just trailing your stop loss. But I mean, it depends where I'm trading, when I'm trading, what I'm doing. I have a magic number in my head. So if I'm on the fly, I'm trading, I look at my phone, I see something good, I enter a move, I'll set a take profit where what I'm comfortable with, what I want to take away from it. Or if I'm going to sit there and watch the move, magic number comes and I'll hit it.
All right.
Are you you just started trading US30?
Yeah, I just saw kind of your videos and just started picking it up. Yeah.
Nice, man. How long have you been trading for?
Like only about a month. I've been following Kim and Luke on Gold Cup.
Oh yeah.
Nice, Kim. You went through all the academy and
yeah.
Nice.
I didn't do the 400 series, but did the other stuff. Yeah.
Good, man. Well, it's good to see new faces in US30, bro. We're killing it over here. So.
Oh, I know. I've seen some of it. Yeah, your screenshots and everything.
Every day, there's no excuses. We're coming up with the win.
Yeah, because I'm like working during the day, so I guess during the evening, it's still like you can still kind of do it. Like it's not as volatile, but
yeah, man. Well, I currently right now I still work, and so I'm catching a lot of these trades when I'm active in the morning around like New York Open. I'm working, and
yeah. What do you do?
What's that?
What do you do?
I'm just I work like this little easy job. I'm just a manager of a masonry supply company.
Oh, so yeah, perfect.
Kind of BS around, I'm working on transition into full-time trading.
Yeah.
That's my next move, man. I'm trying to
for sure.
get those ducks in line for that, but that's what's coming up next.
All in due time.
Yeah, man, I'm in no rush. It's a lot different going to work knowing that I don't have to be there. You know, it's the choice to go there, so it makes it a little bit different. And now I'm just getting my ducks in line to make sure that I have.
Well, the thing is, too, you also have something to look forward to when you get home, too, or
Yeah,
before,
exactly.
after.
Yeah, you know, I really like working and I like physical work. So at first, when I thought the idea of becoming a full-time trader, that was a little difficult. I didn't know how I'd do with sitting, but ever since I came across US30, man, and you can make your money in, you know, I traded the other day for like 15 minutes and that was it. 15 minutes made everything on both of my accounts, man. I hit everything on my smaller account and then on my other account, hit my percent on both of those, and that was it.
Nice. So I was trading it on the demo today, and I was
Yep.
catching some decent moves, but I also just had I had some that were like 12 pips or so, and then I had some that were like just 4 or something. So I'm wondering if I went live with the scalping, like if you had 4 pips, would that kind of just be a wash?
You have to say that again, bro. I didn't catch that.
So like on what's it called, slippage, like on the live account.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was on the demo today and I was getting like a few pips, but I'm just wondering if it's on live, if the slippage kind of takes some of that away. Have you noticed it all if you've done demo and live, or?
Yeah, man, I don't really notice anything.
Okay.
For me, I guess generally I can say if you catch the right move, none of that
Yeah.
stuff really matters. I mean, I didn't really know what margin was.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I still don't understand it. And the spread, I mean, who really cares about any of that shit if you place the right move?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not saying don't go out and learn it. I'm telling you how I am.
You know you're in the right move because it's already like skipping in blue.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I look for, man. No drawback. I don't want any drawback. I don't want to see any
It's in this
red.
full momentum blue, and then you're like, boom, boom, boom. And then you're like,
Yeah, I want all momentum into blue, get out, and that's it. That's it, man. Well, yeah, I'm glad that we did another Zoom call, and I definitely want to do these as much as we can. It's too bad the market's not really moving too great. I want to do some more live stuff, but yeah, we definitely need to stay doing this and getting more people involved. Like to see more people trading US30.
We should have like 20 people on this call, like at least.
That's what I'm saying, man. I really want to get more people on this with what we're doing.
I also understand people got kids and family. I understand.
I get it. I guess I'm speaking more in general of just the people that are in the chat room. I mean, we're getting some new guys in there, but with what we're doing in US30, man, there's no reason that anybody should be afraid to trade it or anybody should be I don't know, man. We're killing it. Everybody, we're all killing it. And I want to see more people coming over and learning and getting the best.
Well, you learn right when you show up, right? And that's just the thing.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't learn, it's your fault because you didn't message me, and I have no problem doing one-on-one calls. I mean, Kyle doesn't, Derek. We're gonna hop on a call. So if you don't succeed in the US30 group, I'm telling you, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's all on you.
Ask questions in the chat.
On you, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, fellas, appreciate you guys, and man, we'll hit it again hard tomorrow. I'm about to take off.
Yeah, we'll have to try to get in. Like, well, fuck, Derek wanted to be on as well, but we'll have to try to figure something out where we all can get on and do some group trading like we did last night. That was mint.
Yeah, we'll get something going. Within the next, I'll let you guys know. Maybe you guys will have time. Within the next few days, or maybe early next week. I'm not totally sure. I'm gonna have a few days where I'm gonna do morning sessions. New York, probably 10:30 in the morning. Few days.
Is that a CST?
Yeah. Yeah. So my time, whenever I trade US30, I want to do a few live
Okay.
events where I'm actually
Just
hitting.
give me a heads up because then I'll call him sick. So
Yeah, well, that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm not
I
even
have
kidding you. I'm not even kidding you.
I have a buddy coming down to visit, and I have a little bit of vacation time I gotta burn. So I was like, you know what? I know that everybody in the group would love it. So we'll hop on a New York session in the morning, and we'll tear it up. I promise everybody will hit their account.
Just give me like a day notice, like the day before, and I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
man, we'll do it. Kyle, I
And
don't
then I'm
know.
fucking sick as a dog. I'm there. So
I'm down
Kyle.
anytime, any fucking time, because
Yeah, if you can swing it, maybe Derek can swing it. Hopefully all you guys can be on Ryan.
yeah.
You guys for sure, because I want to hit this New York. I've been doing more live sessions. I guess the whole thing with me was my confidence, and I wasn't totally confident with calling out moves and stuff. So
Well, what me and Derek and we've been doing, like last night, for instance, was like we're literally just hanging out, watching the charts, talking about what
Bullshit.
what we're expecting, looking at our lines. Everybody's sharing their screen and taking turns.
Mhm.
And if we see something, we'll just say, "Hey, I'm taking this. It's working for me." And like me and Derek got into that position together last night and wrote it down. What was it? A couple hundred or 400 and something points, right?
480 pips. Yeah.
480 pips, right? But yeah, no, it's not like there's no pressure that you're gonna be. You call what you're doing, and I'll call what I'm doing, and if people are there and they see it too and they want to get in on it, great. But if not, whatever, right?
Yeah, man,
There's
it's
no
gonna be
pressure.
fun. I'll let everybody know. I'll probably find out tomorrow.
I'm down
When
like
I'll be able to
fucking.
do it, and we'll hit this live session, man. It's gonna be crazy. Everybody's gonna catch pips, and yeah, I'm excited for it. So I'll keep you guys posted, let you know. And yeah, man, good session. Appreciate all you guys, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Good luck.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks, man. Have a
We'll
good
end the
night.
Zoom
Sounds
here.
good.
So
All right, guys.
have a good night, everybody.